Today is March 4th, 2023. Okay. Yesterday was horrible. I went 5 months without smoking. I almost started smoking again. I was to the point, I can't take this. And I didn't, thank God. But over the last few days, do you realize how stupid they are? And where 12/21/18, I was stabbed in the neck in the refrigerator, the foggy, hazy, dark, bright light. Felt myself cry. Okay. Woke up with a dent in the back of my head. A white man, a man's comb is on Dave's dresser, and it's white. Okay? It's a man's comb, and it's white. I know what happened. He accused me of having an affair, and the last thing I remember was a refrigerator, and he's screaming at me, and my head's pounding. Retired George Pete, his son, Alex, the white-haired guy with his hair parted on the side. Dixie seen him, Darlene seen him, John seen him. He admitted inside Bob Evans the first week of January of 19, in front of everybody in there, that he was part of that kidnapping and attempted murder. You idiot, you left your comb over there. He said, well, I had almost a naked lady laying next to me. You're like, I combed her hair. He was holding me down while they were assaulting me. They left bruises everywhere. I had migraines for 6 months. It felt like this half of my head was going to explode. I was having a hard time, if I read something, to remember it. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. I stutter now when I get really, really upset. I thought it was from post-traumatic syndrome. I looked it up. It is, but it is also from a brain injury. And that's what causes the stuttering when I get upset. I did tapes before the 12/21/18. I didn't stutter on them. Right after that, I started stuttering on them. At times, when I got upset. But I had some idiot woman walk by me in Walmart the other day. They said she had a brain injury and I could watch her. Okay? And study her and da da. So your dissertation's going to be that you were part of a serial killing group? How are you going to explain you got your subject? I never said you could study me. And then they're saying, well, they're taking that money and they're human trafficking people. I don't want anything to do with it. Then she starts speaking like French or Italian. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And yeah, right by the Walmart 62, by the nail polish. They got cameras and audio in there that they record. They got her saying it, that they're taking the money and human trafficking. Uh-huh. So what was she saying in her dissertation? Huh? She was part of a serial killing terrorist group? Allowing people to break in private homes, bashing private citizens in the back of the head so she could study it? Are people realizing what they're saying? Then, okay, I went and see my grandkids yesterday. And then I was going to have dinner with someone. Went to go up there, stopped at a gas station. People came in and said Henry was going to have men watch me up there. We realized she doesn't know what's going on. Well, I got up there early. And looked like two gay guys walked in. Henry told us to keep an eye on her. Great. Okay. Well, or I'm eating dinner. I'm sitting there describing my job. Two women get up and walk out. We're going to tell that well way she describes herself. It's not funny and nobody should make fun of her. I just ignored it. It's okay that the person I was eating dinner with was an arrogant SOB. Very arrogant. His last girlfriend, he didn't marry her because she went to nursing school and she failed her test. And she decided just to be a home health care aide. And that's what she would rather do. And she takes care of 6 people. And he couldn't love somebody like that. It's like, that's what I do for a living. I know. At least she can pass mine. It's like, well, so can I. I got a 96 on my test. And he was just an arrogant SOB trying to say how people have to have degrees and all this other stuff. For him, I was just looking at him. We're eating dinner. And he just showed up and drove 3 hours to insult me because I don't have a degree. So I told him what my ex-husband did. In detail. Oh, including the shower scene in the other room that they put it out there for weirdos come up and say stuff. Well, I'll be there forever. I said, well, it's not my fault. He said that there'll be weirdos on some kind of porn site watching you take a shower. It's not my fault. I got rid of him real quick. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a story from when I was young. And I'm not racist at all. I'm gonna tell you what happened. My dad, we lived in right outside Buffalo, New York, 70s. The mafia was burning a lot of businesses down. Grocery stores, my ice cream stand. I was so mad about that one. People's homes. It was bad. There was drug dealers, there was prostitutes. It was bad. Real bad up there. Okay. Then we also had concert halls, we had museums, we had the border. We had whole different cultures. It was fast, it was exciting, dangerous place. Okay. My dad had told me that one of those mafia guys came up and said, I want you to hire my kid. He's like, fine, I'll hire him. He said, they're not burning my business down. He was a GM of a factory. He said, I'll pay him to stand in the corner. He said, I don't care if he works or not. He said, they're not burning my business down. So, I remember, probably being about 5, 6, being all dressed up, standing next to my dad. My dad was a GM. He sat like everybody else. If you were in his office, you stood. Most of the time you stood while he was talking to someone, okay? Well, my dad was standing. There was this heavier set white guy behind a desk. I went with him there. And he said, he's the stupidest white man that ever walked. And he's yelling at my dad. He said, he's so stupid he can't even tie his own shoes. He can't keep his mouth shut for nothing. And then he starts swearing. And I'm a little 5, 6-year-old kid. And I start tugging on his pant leg. And I'm like, Dad, can I go sit down? He's like, yeah, go sit down. So I walked around like a little soldier and then sat down. Sat there and fiddled with my little tights. He had me all dressed up. Okay? We got home. And my mom said, what did that guy say about that guy? He said, the only thing nice he said about him, he was white. And my mom's like, you're kidding. He said, no. Well, then later on, my dad come home from work. You'd be surprised what that guy comes out of that kid's mouth. I wonder if that was a mafia guy that was telling him to hire his kid because he couldn't keep his mouth shut. See, I was in Walmart yesterday on the 3rd. And some guys were walking around and said that story about our dad. That's what's going on with somebody. Somebody can't keep their mouth shut about what's going on. Well, Will's like, look at me, look at me. I can steal $300,000 from the federal government. They haven't arrested me. I badgered Karen on the phone on a recorded line. I made her plead for her life. I got false statements out of her under the threat of arrest. I listed her informant. I stole the money. I paid for human trafficking. He's sitting there, he'll admit to everything. Tell everybody in the world what you gonna do about it. So, huh? That's how they act around me. So? That's how they act. We're committing these horrible crimes. No one's arrested us. So? Well, I'll tell you what, I think the mafias get mad at Will. Because last Sunday, I went with my client to Trinity Gospel Temple. This guy comes in, white, black hair, has a ponytail. He said, I heard Karen's going to be here today. He said, she's the one the mafia takes care of. And he turns around, and the guy said, there she is. And I start hurting my face like this. He said, I'm going to tell Will what he's doing to her is ridiculous. And I'm going to have a talk with him. He knows Will's working with the mafia, and he's a federal agent. I think they're tired of him. They're like that guy's kid that couldn't keep his mouth shut. Like Eric came in and confessed all the tapes before were him and not me. It was my idea to do it. My idea to say it. My idea to come up with it. For all these people to turn on our hot. November 18, 22. Walmart 62, 2 to 6 p.m. by the hair salon. Camera above him and camera in the hair salon caught him. Then, let's see. November 24, 22, Mercy Medical. The nurse to a lady officer. We all heard that Eric make fun of us for falling for this. No one will say a word to her. November 24th, Mercy Medical. Lady Canton officer. Well, the agent that bullied her into saying she was lying when she wasn't. I found out those men run experiments on her, and they need to realize how not funny this is. No one's ever said anything bad about her, and she better not have permanent damage. I have a lot of permanent damage. This is like a Jumanji book. Like the movie where everything evil and bad comes out, and they try to kill you. Except for this is reality. He has brought a Jumanji book of people breaking in and stalking you. Photoshopping shower scenes and stalking tapes. Waking up with bruises. And they're date rape, drugging you in your sleep. Stabbing you with needles in your sleep. You don't know what's going on. And then they post it on porn sites of shower scenes in other rooms. And it causes people to terrorize you. He takes where you call a Federal Bureau of Investigators that are to protect you. And he's part of it. And he bullies you under a threat of arrest. The worst thing that they could do, if you didn't say what they were, made you plead for your life like a bastard. List you informant, then he steals the money. And then he lets the bastards that he's helping pay for break in and date rape, drug you, try to shoot you, bash your skull in. And while they're human trafficking kids that are never coming back, and he's helping finance it through the witness protection program from the money he's stealing from a victim. He has opened a Jumanji book of hell, of reality, of the most evil villains there is. He opened it and brought it here, and he's letting them loose on everybody. And they make fun of me for being his victim. And where he's had me raped and tortured. And even put that on porn sites. And let people watch it. I gotta get going. But that agent bullied me into false statement when I tried to report what happened at Huntington Bank, Department of Justice, 1729. You have to take a victim, a witness, or informant statement, if you believe them or not, and follow through. And like the Canton PD, when I try to tell them what happened to me, just keep reporting them. We'll just keep pulling tapes. It's not that big a deal. We'll eventually catch them. It's not a big deal. So when I told them what happened at Huntington Bank, where the guy came up and threatened to knife me, and I did a beeline into the bank, was there a camera above you? I don't know. Well, if I can't find it on camera, I will arrest you. You either say you're lying or I'll put you in jail. I'm like, what? He said, I said, see your house. So I said, I drugged up Karen, did what she was told. I remember even feeling foggy when I was talking to him. And where I had bruises and stuff like that. And he's like, you either And then made me plead for, why would the FBI help you? I had to plead for my life. Mentioned my brother-in-law Craig that worked for the CIA that died. He listed me informant. And then threatened me again if I told someone. He listed me crazy. Make me too scared to even open my mouth and ask for help. He did it on purpose. He's a sick son of a bitch. And people make fun of me for being his victim. And he's doing a happy dance of look at me, look at me, look at me. I can do all these crimes and nobody's arrested me yet. And they have all these people because he opened an informant program, a witness protection program. Had an officer talk today per requirements of the Department of Justice to be in somebody's home. Police and agencies can only be in a home under threat of life and have to speak to everyone before they start. It's the Fourth Amendment. Fifth is the right to remain quiet, and the sixth to an attorney. And seventh to a fair and speedy court trial. Eighth, not to be mistreated. And you have the first one over freedom of speech. The government would like to imply they can tell you to stay quiet, and they can't. The only one that can tell you to stay quiet is a sequestered juror or grand jury during the trial only. It has to be a sitting judge. No one can ever tell you, yeah, I can't say something about what's going on. They can't, unless you're a judge in those situations, because we live in a free country. People forget. That's why even red flags should have went off. I called the hotline. I lived in Portage County. Summit County is over it. Should have went to Akron. Not a Starr County FBI task force in the courthouse again. He should have been stopped the first day. There should have been protocols that caught him. And I'll tell you what, I've talked to other police in other areas. They're like, they don't need arrested. They gotta shoot. Are your local police slow? And mock them. They have these people dead to rights. And if they pull my case, because it's like the Amish men with the beards. Yesterday in Walmart, some guy walks up and said they really did. I found a tape of them actually really bashing her skull, bashing her in the back of the head. Somebody needs to do something about it. Everything's on tape. Just like where they found a tape of them emitting a shower scene in the other room. Or like Man Cannon Canton, Man 19. If you didn't hear John's kids right on the third step up, Karen, Dave's girlfriend is at Shell's, Michelle. They sold the login to the protected custody case. They made millions.